Hi, Manny here from Urban Health and Fitness, and today's session we're going to be going through a back care Pilates class. For those that have never done Pilates before, not done any of my classes, if you're new to this, just simply do the exercises that you're comfortable with. You don't have to do them all. For those that are used to it, please make sure that you use pillows and any cushions you need to adjust any postures or positions for alignment and for comfort. Okay, what you're going to need is a bit of floor space, so create a bit of area around you. If you've got a mat, great. You don't have to, but if it's on a carpet, that's absolutely fine. And again, just make sure you've got maybe some cushions around you. So we're going to get started. Okay, let's get started. So find the center of your mat or the center of the floor. From this position, feet hip width apart, slightly loose through the knees. From this position, we pretend we've got a string on the top of our head, and that's going to lift our head up, just aligning the neck and the spine in a much neutral position. From there, we're going to just gently roll those shoulders back and put a slight squeeze between the shoulder blades. And this is really important just to align our back a little bit easier. From this position here, we're going to take a deep breath in. That breath's going to come in through the nose, all the way imagining that air going down to the base of the lungs, filling the lungs as much as possible, and breath out through the mouth. One more time for me, deep breath in, and breath out. Good. As you take these breaths in and out, just think about the body relaxing further down. So big breath in for me. And relax those shoulders, keeping the squeeze through the shoulder blades as much as we can. And again, one more time. And back out. From this position, we're just going to shift our body weight from side to side. And we're going to go over to one side, thinking about the weight transferring through the hip and down onto the floor. And again, over into the other side, transferring the weight onto the right side and back to center. And we can do the same going forwards as well, coming over on our toes, back onto our heels. And this is really quite important to just get a sense of where our balance is, where our body's in alignment. And what you want to try and do is just position yourself in the center between those movements. Okay, let's get our head moving. So from this position, again, keep the squeeze between the shoulder blades. From there, we're just going to look around to the right side as far as we can. Feel the stretch coming down into the neck, back to center, and over to the other side. One more time for me. So as we go around, think about taking it a little bit further if we can. Back to center, and over to the other side. And back to the beginning. One more time, we're going to take the ear down to the shoulder. So down to one side, back to center, and over to the other. Again, go to where you feel comfortable. As we go over to the side, we're going to have that stretch down the side of our neck, and back to the center, and over to the other. Good, and back. Okay, thumbs facing forward again, keep those shoulder blades engaged. From there, big breath in. We're going to take those arms up to the center as high as we can. Good, when we get to the top, we just want to make sure that we're working through the shoulders as much as possible. So big lift up to the shoulder, lifting the rib cage as much as we can. Breath out and control back down again. It's really important, I'll come to the side, that as we lift, as we take this arm up, that we don't arch our back. What we're looking to do is get the movement through the shoulders as much as we can. When we get to the top, we lift up, lifting our rib cage up as much as we can. Back down to the center and back again. Okay, one more time for me. Thumbs facing forward, breath in and up, lift up, reach up to the ceiling. Lengthen through that spine, control back down again. Back to center. So one more time, breath in. When we get to the top, big lift up to the ceiling. You're going to turn the palms forwards. From there, keeping the thumbs engaged together, we're going to go over to one side, lengthening the side of the trunk. Back to the center. One more time over to the other side. Good. And again, you'll feel that stretch going down the side of the trunk. Back to center. Take those arms back down again. Breath out. Okay, one more time. Thumbs up. Good. When we get to that top, lift the rib cage up. Turn the palms forwards. From there, we go over to one side. Good. See if you can take it slightly further. Back to center. And over to the other side. Back to center. Palms down. Good. Okay, the next sequence of movements, we're going to just start to warm the body up slightly. So we're going to take our feet probably slightly wider than hip width, so it's just about shoulder width as much as we can. We're going to come into a squat sequence. So anyone that's done my classes before will know that this will challenge both a bit of strength and a bit of balance as well. So again, do what you're able to do. So from this position, we're going to take the arms up, and it's just slightly higher than shoulder. So from that position, then we're going to squat back down. So in this position, when we're squatting, we stick the bottom back out, keeping the knees relatively neutral and level with the toes. So from there, we squat down. Even pressure between both legs as much as possible, engaging through the center of the foot. Head up, back nice and straight. From this position, we're going to lift the toes up, off the floor and balance. Good. When we get to the top, we're standing up, keeping the toes and the heels off the floor. Drop the heels back down, drop the arms down. Good. Let's go through that again. So we're going to squat down, engaging through both feet. Lift the heels up, balance and control, stand nice and tall, drop the arms, drop the heels. Okay, one more time. Down we go. Lift the heels up, stand nice and tall, arms back down again. Good, we're going to just do that in reverse now. So from there, we're going to come up, balancing on the toes as much as we can. We're going to squat down now, controlling, keeping those heels down. Heels down, stand nice and tall. So again, up, raise onto the toes, balance, breathe, control, squat, control, heels down and stand tall. One more time, up, squat down, heels down. Okay, final time, you're doing really well. Keep going, heels up, arms forward. Good. Squat. Keep the knees level with the hips. Heels down. Stand tall. Excellent. Well done. We're going to come to the side of the mat. We're going to go into our roll down. Our roll down basically is a sequence of movements that's going to flex the spine going forwards. You need to imagine and feel and sense the spine curling and peeling down as much as you can. We start at the chin. So again, just good position through the shoulders, squeezing through the shoulder blades. From there, we take the chin down, hands on top of the thighs, and we peel the spine down, curling and sensing each vertebrae rolling down through the middle of the back. Then you'll start to feel the lower back engage, and then eventually you'll start to feel it through your back of your legs, your hamstrings, until you get all the way down to the bottom, and you may feel the stretch all the way through legs and back. From this position, take a deep breath in, and breath out and curl back up again. So again, we start at the hamstrings first. We come up through our lower back. We stand up through the middle, neck, shoulders, and the head comes back again. Okay, one more time for me. We're going to roll down, and then we're going to eventually get on the floor. So again, chin to chest, hands forward, drop the neck down, peel through the neck, the middle of the back. Again, get a sense and a feel of how the joints are feeling, any areas of stiffness, slowly work through them, slowly working through the lower back, then the pelvis kicks in, we get to the bottom of the floor. Again, deep breath in, breath out, bend the knees, come gently down on to the mat. Good. So we're down on the floor now. If you are struggling to be on all fours, because we're going to do the next sequence of exercises on our knees, you can just use a cushion, whatever's comfortable for you, just so you can support your knees slightly. We are going to be on our wrists as well. So again, I'll show you some variations if you're struggling, putting weight through the wrists. We're going to go through a sequence now of back mobility, and I do this in all Pilates, back care Pilates classes, just to loosen and mobilize the spine as much as we can before we do other things to it. So, from this position here, we come to what's called all fours. So the knees stay underneath the hips, and then the wrists stay underneath the shoulders. If you're struggling with putting weight directly down through the shoulder, you can take them slightly forwards as much as you can. That just offloads and reduces the range of movement at the wrist. And likewise with the hips as well. If you're struggling with the range through the hip, you can just take your legs slightly further back. What we're looking to do is have the knees slightly wider than hip width. We're going to start with a cat-cow or hump and dump. So we tuck the chin in, lift the back towards the ceiling. At the same time, then we turn the pelvis, lift the head, and drop the belly button down towards the floor. So we just go through this really simple movement through the spine, which nicely mobilizes most of the back as much as possible. Lift the head and drop the pelvis. Good. The movement has to be engaged through the pelvis. One of the key things that I see a lot of people missing out is that the pelvis doesn't move. So we need to be engaged through the pelvis. Lifting the head. One more time for me. And again, just get a sense of any areas that may be stiff, limited, and come back to level. From this position, the next exercise, we're going to pop our hands underneath. We drop them down, reach under as far as we can. Back to center. And again, opposite arm, we drop down and come back to center. And just alternate between the two. This is a great exercise just to keep the mid-back moving. Drop down, and as you start to feel that things are slightly easier, you can drop the shoulder further down into the movement and explore that movement a little bit deeper. Good. One more time for me. And back to center. We can vary that position here, so we could either go up to the top, reaching out. Now the difference here, by reaching in different angles, means that the spine is going to move in a slightly different way, and it can stretch some of the tissue slightly differently. So it's really important that you explore different areas to see whether it's suitable for you, whether you benefit from it. So reaching up, you may feel it pull slightly in a different way. Back to center, and again, down to the feet as well. You may feel that pull coming from top to bottom through the lower back a bit more. One more time either side. And back to center. Okay, final one. We pop our hands into the center. We will have an element where you're putting your weight onto one hand. Again, if it's easier, just take that hand slightly forward just to give you a bit more support. From this position, you can drop your hips back. We open up through the center. The head follows the hand up to the top. Control back down again, and change. Now in these movements, it's okay for the hips to drop down. In order for you to get that movement through the middle back, you need to drop the hips and open them out as much as you can. Back to center. One more time. One more time either side for me. Good. Just put a slight hold at the end. And back. We're going to continue with the back mobility, but we're just going to now focus a little bit more through the lower back. Again, explore the movements that's comfortable for you, and if there's any restrictions or any difficulties, just back off or just stop that movement and we can carry on with something else. Okay, from this position here, we again take the knees slightly further back, and this opens the hip out a little bit more. From this position here, we can drop the hips down towards the floor, lifting the head and chest up. Again, it's the sense of the belly button going down towards the floor, not forcing it or pushing it, but just gently letting the weight of gravity pull that back down. From this position, we can then bring the bottom back, and again from there, if it's easier, have your legs nice and wide. You can drop your bottom in between the space, keep the arms nice and long, chest down towards the floor. One more time forwards, head and chest up. Breath out, control back in, chest down towards the floor. Think about keeping the arms as long as you can and as straight as you can. And this position here, if we have that sense of chest dropping towards the floor, we're really going to try and mobilize the upper part of our back. Good, one more time for me. See if you can explore that movement a bit further. Hold it a little bit longer. Good, one more time. And back to center. Okay, well done. From this position here, we're going to take one leg back. So it goes directly back to begin with. We sweep it underneath the other leg. So what you may find automatically, if I do it with this side, that as you sweep it round, you're going to get a stretch through the bottom and through the lower back. That's fine. So from this position, once you've got that stretch, you then just drop down onto the other leg, keep the arms nice and straight, and just drop the bottom as far as you can until you feel you're feeling the stretch on the opposite side. Breath in, control back again. Again, slide that leg away first, sweep it around, drop down, and again, thinking about long through the arms, see if you can reach forward as much as you can, increase that stretch. Good, back to center. One more time either side for me. So drop back, sweep around, sit back. Now, if you wanted to, we could extend this curve, this banana shape through our spine as much as we can. You can take this top arm and reach it to the other arm. And what you'll find is you've got a lovely curve shape to your spine and your torso. And it really just adds a lovely stretch through your lats and your upper back. Back to center. One more time the other side. So sweep it back underneath you. Sit back. And again, just draw that hand to the opposite hand. And again, you'll see a lovely C shape through your spine. And back to center. Excellent. So we've mobilized the upper part of our back, mobilized the midsection and the lower back. We're going to now integrate some stability exercises to get the muscles kicking in a bit more. Okay, we're going to move on to some stability exercises, and I'm going to do a modified plank. I'll go through that sequence and I'll maybe explain some progressions that people can do if they're finding it too easy. So a modified plank, a plank would generally be on your elbows and your arms, but for all intents and purposes, be able to do this exercise just on all fours. So knees underneath hips, again wrists underneath shoulders, adjust yourself according to how you feel. From this position here, we're looking at hip width between the knees, and same with the arms. Now it's important when we're doing putting our weight through our arms and our shoulders is that we have good stability through our shoulder girdle. We will be going through some exercises shortly for that. But what we want to try and do is push through the floor as much as we can. So we've got good stability through these arms. From this position, if you're comfortable, come onto your toes. If you're not, you could use a block or pillow just to support your feet slightly more, if that's easier for you. From this position here, what we're looking to do is just pop up, bringing the knees off the floor 2 to 3 centimeters. So from this position here, we lift up, hold, lift the head up so it's a level with the rest of the spine. Keep the arms nice and straight. Push through your hands so you're straightening the arms as much as you can. Draw the belly button towards your spine and hold. Try not to hold your breath. 3, 2, 1. Drop back down again. When you relax back down, try and completely rest so that when we go back into that movement, you're re-engaging everything again. A lot of people try and still hold a bit of tension and stability through themselves. What you want to try and do is, when you're exercising them and strengthening them, it's key that you try and activate them quickly, and for them to turn on, and then for them to turn off again. So, same thing again, all fours, strong, straight through the arms. From this position here, we keep the arms nice and straight, push through the floor, lift those knees up, keep the head neutral, draw that belly button towards the spine, not too much, just a slight pull through that, for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back down again. Excellent. So some of you may be feeling that already, and it's quite a hard exercise, so don't be too discerned that you're struggling, because it is quite intense on the body. Okay, same thing again, let's do a couple more. So again, strong through the arms, push through the shoulder girdle as much as you can, keep the head up, lift those knees for 5, 4, keep breathing, 3, 2, 1, and back down again. Good. One more time. Same again, long through the arms, lift up, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back down again. For those that find that quite easy or want to progress that on, I'll go through some variations. So from there, you could stay at that level 1 where we're just lifting the knees off, or we can start to come in and start to add some movement into it. Now, if you're struggling with wrist range of movement, again, take your hands slightly wider. As you lift into it, so as we lift these knees up and we extend, we're going to go through our wrists as much as we can because we're keeping the arms nice and straight. From that position, we just hold nice and straight for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We drop back down and keep it hovering for 3, 2, 1. Extend back up again for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop and hold for 3, 2, 1, and back down again. We'll do that one more time. Again, depending on your level of ability, you can just stick with the static holds, or if you want to try, we can add a bit more movement into it. So one more time, strong through the arms, draw that belly button in, lift the knees up for 3, 2, 1, extend, straighten through the hips for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, drop down, again 90 degrees hips and knees for 4, 3, 2, 1, straighten and extend, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1, and rest. Well done. Okay, well done. You're doing really well so far. What we're going to start to move on to is some mobility through what we call our scapula and our shoulder girdle. This is a really, really key area that gets neglected in a lot of exercise classes and exercises. And that's basically the movement between the shoulders, the shoulder blade, and the interaction between that and the spine. So we're going to go through some exercises that are going to get them moving, and then we're going to add the strengthening exercises around it. The reason why it's so important is that we generally are in a flex position in day-to-day activities, and to try and strengthen those muscles is quite hard. So first thing we